Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Welcome to all of you in CompTIA Plus Lecture 7, and I'm your instructor Ahmed Malik. In our previous lecture, we discussed about hard drive and optical drive and their installation, different types of adapter cards like graphic card, sound card, storage controller, network interface card, and PCI slots and their installation. In our today's lecture, we will discuss about several different types of media cards and SD cards, external storage drives and ports and their installation, and the installation of internal power cables and data cables. And also we will discuss about the installation of front panel cables like power button, reset button, power LED, system speakers, audio and USB. So let's take a start. Selection of media card or media readers. Many digital devices such as cameras, smartphone and tablets use media cards to store information, music, picture, videos, data and more. Several media formats have been developed over the years, including secure digital card or SD card. SD card were designed for the use in portable devices such as cameras, MP3 players, and laptops. SD cards can hold as much as 2 TB of data. Micro SD. This is a much smaller version of SD card commonly used in smartphones and tablets. Mini SD version of SD between the size of an SD card and a micro SD card. The format was developed for mobile phones. Compact flash, also known as compact disc. Compact flash is an older format but still in wide use because of its high speed and capacity up to 128 GB commonly. Compact flash is often used as storage for video cameras. Memory stick created by Sony Corporation. Memory stick is a proprietary flash memory used in cameras, MP3 players, handheld video game systems, mobile phones, cameras, and other portable electronic devices. XD, also known as picture card. It was used in some digital cameras. While you are going to purchase any type of media card, you must keep in mind you want to use that internal or external, and their size is also very important. Selection of external storage. External storage offers portability and convenience when working with multiple computers. External USB flash drives, sometimes called thumb drives, are commonly used as remoteable external storage. External storage drives connect to an external port using USB, eSATA, or Thunderbolt ports. The figure displays an external flash drive and lists the factor to consider when purchasing an external storage solution. Choose the correct type of external storage for your customer's need. For example, if your customer needs to transfer a small amount of data, such as a single presentation, an external flash drive is a good choice. But if your customer needs to backup or transfer large amount of data, choose an external hard drive. Connecting the internal cable. These are some key points which you should keep in mind when going to install external drive in your system. Connecting the internal power cables and connecting the internal data cables. While we are using external ports, but internally they are connected with our motherboard through some ports that are known as data ports or power ports, and also using cables that are known as internal power cables or internal data cables. Step number 1, align the 24-pin ATX power connector to the socket on the motherboard. Step number 2, gently press down on the connector until the clip clicks into place. Step number 3, align the 4-pin auxiliary power connector to the socket on the motherboard. Step number 4, gently press down on the connector until the chip clicks into place. Step number 5, align the CPU fan power connector to the socket on the motherboard. And step number 6, gently press down on the connector until the clip clicks into the place.
Hello everyone, this is our Install the Power Connector video. This is going to be a two-part video. First part, we're going to install the power connectors on the motherboard. Step 1, we need to align our 24-pin connector with the socket on the motherboard. There's our socket, and here's our 24-pin connector. With step 1, alignment means we need this clip to connect on the outside of the connector. So we can go ahead and we can align it with that connector. Now that it's aligned, step 2, we're going to gently press down on the connector so that clip locks into place. As we press down, you hear it click into place. Step 3, we need to align our 4-pin power connector for auxiliary power on the motherboard, which we'll see here also has a clip, with its corresponding connector on the motherboard. To align, I'll just drop it in and up. And then, step 4, we're going to gently press down on that connector until it clicks in place. And now it clicked in place. Step 5, we need to take our CPU fan with its power connector right here. And we need to align this correctly, which you'll see the little slot here. We need to align that correctly with the actual CPU fan slot on the motherboard, which is right here. Step 6, we're going to gently press down on it and put it in place. It doesn't click, it just slides in, and we are done. In part 2 of our video, we're going to install the power connector for our SATA hard drive. Now this is our 2.5-inch solid-state hard drive. On the back, we're going to have a data port and a power port. So we can take a zoom in here and see a closer view. The larger port here is going to be the power connector, and this is going to be a 15-pin SATA power connector. Step 1, we're going to take our power connector that's going to attach to the drive, and here's what it looks like right here. We can see it's keyed in a specific way, so you cannot install it upside down. And we need to align it correctly with the SATA hard drive. When we have it aligned correctly, we can take it and align it right here. And step 2 is we're going to gently push it in until it's fully seated. Awesome. Now that we have the SATA 15-pin power connector installed, we're going to install the power connector for our case fan. This is going to be a 3-pin power connector that we'll connect to on the motherboard. The power connector looks exactly like this. It's got a spot for 3 pins. The connector on the motherboard that we're going to hook it to is right below here, and it's brown. We'll zoom in and take a closer look at the power connector. So as you see right here, that's going to be the 3-pin power connector, and we're going to connect it in. Step 1, we need to align the power connector to the motherboard. Again, this power connector has a slot, just like we saw previously for the CPU fan. So step 2, we're going to press it in gently now that we have it aligned. And that is what it looks like. It is installed correctly. Thank you for watching our Installing the Power Connectors video.
In the same way, when you are going to connect internal data cables, there are 2 steps. Step number 1, align the SATA cable and plug one end into the motherboard socket. And step number 2, align the other end of the SATA cable and plug it into the smaller SATA port on the drive.
Hello everyone. Welcome to our Install the Data Connectors video. First, we want to take a look at our motherboard and find those SATA data connectors. Down here, I've got 4 of them. Also, on my solid-state hard drive, I've got the SATA power connector installed previously, but I removed it so we can see the SATA data connector, which is the smaller of the two on this side. So to get started, step 1, we need to align our SATA data cable, and it's notched to fit exactly down below. So we'll align it. And then after it's aligned, we can just gently push it in, and it will click in place. Step 2, we'll take our right angle SATA data cable here. We're going to connect it with its corresponding connector on our hard drive. So we align it up, then we can press it in. And it clicks into place. Awesome. Thank you for watching our Connecting the Data Cables video.
Installation of front panel cables. A computer case typically has a power button and visible activity lights on the front of your CPU case. The case will include front panel cables that must be connected to a common system panel connector on a motherboard. Wiring on the motherboard near the system panel connectors shows where each cable is connected. System panel connectors include power button. Power button turns the computer on or off. If the computer button fails to turn off, the computer holds down the power button for several seconds. Reset button. The reset button, if available on your system, as it's not available on all the systems, restarts the computer without turning it off. Power LED. Power LED remains light when the computer is on and often blinks when the computer is in sleeping mode or sleep mode. Drive activity LEDs. The drive activity LEDs remain lightning or blinks when the system is reading or writing the hard drives, means sending or receiving the data. System speakers. The motherboard uses a case speaker if available to indicate the computer's status. For example, one beep indicates that the computer started without problems. But if there is a hardware problem, a series of diagnostic beeps is issued to indicate the type of problem. It is important to note that the system speaker is not the same as the speakers the computer uses to play music and other audios. The system speaker cable typically use 4 pins on the system panel connector. Audio. Some cases have audio ports and jacks on the outside to connect microphones, external audio equipments such as signal processors, mixing boards, and instruments. Special audio panels can also be purchased and connected directly to the motherboard. These panels can install into one or more external drive bays or be standalone panels. System panel connectors are not keyed. However, each front panel cable usually has a small arrow indicating pin 1, and each pair of LED pins on the motherboard system panel connectors has pin 1 marked with a plus sign. New cases and motherboards have USB 3.0 or may even have USB 3.1 capabilities. The USB 3.0 and 3.1 motherboard connector is similar in design to a USB connector, but has additional pins. USB connector cables are often 9 or 10 pins arranged in 2 rows. These cables connect to the USB motherboard connector as shown in the figure. This arrangement allows for two USB connections. So, USB connectors are often in pairs. Sometimes the two connectors are together in one piece, as shown in the figure, and can be connected to the entire USB motherboard connector. USB connectors can also have 4 or 5 pins or individual group of 4 or 5 pins. Most USB devices only require the connection of 4 pins. The fifth pin is used to group the shielding of some USB cables. Make sure that the motherboard connector is marked USB. Firewire connectors are also very similar to the USB connectors. Connecting a USB cable to a firewire connector will cause damage. Generally, if a button or LED does not function, the connector is incorrectly oriented. To correct this, shut down the computer system and unplug it, open the case, and turn the connector around for the button or LED that does not function. Avoid wiring incorrectly. Some manufacturers include a keyed pin extended that combines multiple front panel cables, that is power and reset LEDs connectors into one connector. Installation tip: the panel connector and case cable end are very small. Take picture of them to locate pin 1 because space in the case can be limited at the end of assembly. A part retriever can be used to plug the cable into the connector. So let's have a video demonstration to understand the assembly of computer. But before that, look at some key points. Step number 1, reattach the front panel if necessary. Step number 2, plug the power cable into the power supply. Step number 3, orient and connect USB cables to USB ports. Step number 4, orient and connect the video cable to the video port on the video adapter. Step number 5, tighten the video cable screw to the video adapter. Step number 6, connect the network cable to the Ethernet port. And step number 7, connect the audio cable to the audio ports. Step number 8, place the side panel cover on the case and slide it closed. Step number 9, tighten any screw to secure the side panel cover. As it is a practical task, let's have a video demonstration to understand these installations.
Hello everyone. In this video we're going to reassemble our case and then we're going to install our external cables. To get started we have the front of our tower here and we'll put on the front cover. Now the front cover just had these locking clips on the side. We just need to line it up and all we do is push down in the corners. And now the front case is locked. We've got our USB ports, our headphone, and our mic port. Also in the front here we also have our DVD disk drive that we installed. I can turn this on its face. And now we can do our external cables. So for this part I'll take off my anti-static wrist strap. And I can into my power cord. And I can just slide the plug in here. And you shouldn't have to force any one of these cables as you install the cables to the back of your tower. I've got a USB for my keyboard. These you do have to align, so take a close look regarding how you need to align it. You'll see the correct end to slide in. Then another USB, so this is my keyboard mouse combo. And again, we'll take a look at the alignment of the USB and plug it in. Also at this time, I have my graphics cable. For me, I have a DVI connection. The DVI is going to go to my white porter on my graphics card we had installed. So I'll put that in. And we've got 2 screws on that. We can just easily screw it until it's snug. You don't need to over tighten these. It's not going to fall out. Lastly, I have audio cable and I have my network jack. I'll plug in my network jack to my Ethernet port. Then my audio cable is green for my speakers out, and I'll plug that in my green speaker out port. Our external cables are installed. Last thing, we take a look at the side. It's still open. We need to close it up with the cover. With the cover, it's just going to slide on. You can see the slots here along the top that we're going to lock it into. You're just going to rest it in. You can shift it and feel it slide into place. And then there should be no force needed here. Just slowly slide it forward. And I have my locking screw. But I can just close that by hand. And then I can give it a little bit of a snug tighten. And again, we don't need to over tighten that. And now we're done. Our case is put back together. It is ready to go. Thank you for watching our video.
That's enough for today. And now finish our this lecture with a beautiful quote. Education is the best friend. An educated person is respected everywhere. Education beats the beauty and the youth. So dear students, thanks for watching this video and stay connected for all the upcoming videos. Thank you very much.